the end of the webinar. So let's go ahead and get started. My name is Sally Munter, and I am the Sales Support and Training Coordinator here with Milady. And I am here to introduce another webinar in our series of webinars. And today's topic is the business plan, why you can't afford to be without one, presented by Janet D'Angelo. So Janet is a Milady author, which is part of our family here at Milady. And most recently, she has written the book, Spa Business Strategies, A Plan for Success. So I know Janet will be providing a little more information on her background specifically. So without further ado, may I present Janet D'Angelo.
Thank you, Sally, and welcome to all who are joining us for this session on business planning. I am very grateful for the opportunity to be a part of Milady's webinar series. This is certainly an exciting time in the evolution of education, where at the click of a keyboard you can be connected to so many educational tools. I'm particularly excited about all of the attention we are giving to developing business management skills in the salon and spa industry today. Thanks to programs like this and the increased attention the entire industry is giving to business education, spa and salon owners have many opportunities to increase their business knowledge. I began my career in the beauty business more than 25 years ago, managing day-to-day operations at the front desk of a busy salon. I went on to become a licensed esthetician, opened a second hair and skin salon, and worked behind the chair for several years, still managing many of the day-to-day business tasks. So I understand firsthand what it takes to wear both hats. There was very little training in the industry for business management back then, so I had to work hard to develop my own resources and continue my education. I relied heavily on accountants and other professionals to understand the more involved financial and business management tools. I have to say it was very helpful for me to have a teaching background, but I can tell you it takes a lot of support and the right resources to really be successful. For the past 15 years, I have specialized in marketing and public relations, working with a variety of health, beauty, and wellness businesses, including day spas, medical spas, salons, education, product and equipment manufacturers and vendors, helping them to establish business systems and build sales, marketing, and public relations programs. In an industry that continues to grow faster, more sophisticated, and more competitive by the hour, business skills are critical to
and its related
survival. Coming from an education background, I am passionate about developing and promoting teaching tools and have spent a good deal of my career involved in these efforts. This was the energy behind Spa Business Strategies, to give those interested in owning or managing a spa business a complete overview of the industry that clearly identified the business skills needed to operate a successful day spa. Information I found lacking when I entered the beauty business over 25 years ago. During this hour, I would like to share some of the business planning tips from one of the most important topics outlined in Spa Business Strategies, developing a business plan. I'll be breaking it down to three very important points: why you need a business plan, how to get started, and what goes into a business plan. Working with salon and spa business owners, I've found that they generally fall into one of two categories. There are service providers looking to open their own business, and those who come from a business background who are either A, looking for a less stressful occupation, or B, view this multi-billion-dollar industry as a very lucrative opportunity. There are many multi-talented, well-educated individuals entering the field from both sides today. Still, there is a learning in terms of both they are and job requirements. Being a good service provider doesn't always equate to being a successful business owner. Likewise, having a strong business management background doesn't always guarantee that a person will be successful in the salon or spa business. Whichever side you're coming from, you will most likely need to acquire new skills and knowledge. Tackling a business plan is one of the surest ways to find out where you stand in terms of the job requirements. I have found that most small business owners don't think twice about hiring professionals to help them with financial and legal obligations. But I have found that many jump into business ownership without formulating a complete business plan. There are many reasons why salon and spa owners forego creating a business plan. Some view the business plan only as a vehicle for obtaining funds, and while they may draft an outline for this purpose, the details escape them. Some hire experts and go to the trouble of developing a plan, but don't view it as a working tool. Others forego the business plan altogether, relying on their own experience and intuition. I've found that this is one of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make. A business plan is more than a white paper to satisfy loan officials and investors. It's a blueprint that gives form and function to every aspect of business development. When you start to put things in writing, the energy seems to automatically shift. And in many cases, it's just the vehicle prospective business owners need to assess their own entrepreneurial skills. So if you gain just one thing from this webinar, I hope it will be that you learn to view the business plan as more than a vehicle for obtaining financing or another obligatory prerequisite to starting your own business, but as your own personal guide to developing a successful business. When you think about it, it's your opportunity.
Okay, I need quiet.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think someone said something. Maybe you need to press star 6 to mute your phone. I think I'm hearing some people. And I'll just repeat that. If you gain just one thing from this webinar, I hope it will be that you've learned to view the business plan as more than a vehicle for obtaining financing or an obligatory prerequisite, own personal guide to developing a successful business.
I'm going to work on the picture.
Think about it. It's your opportunity to write your own business guide, and that is really exciting.
All you're going to be able to do is listen. I think you're going to be able to pull the page up.
I think there may be a few people, Sally, on the call who are new. If we could ask them to press star 6 and mute their phones, that would be helpful. Thank you. Before we talk about what goes into the business plan and how to get started, I'd like to give you a few good reasons for writing a plan by covering some of the top reasons for business failure. United States Small Business Administration statistics indicate that about 2/3 of all new small businesses survive the first 2 years. However, less than half survive 4. There are a number of reasons for business failure. These range from poor planning to human resource problems. But the primary reason for business failure is generally attributed to not having a plan. Second on my list of the top 10 is a failure to understand your target market. Customers are the mainstay of any business, so you really have to understand what it is they want. Many times, business owners assume that what they are selling is what customers want, and they're surprised to find out that their brand of health, beauty, or wellness is not what the client needs or wants at all. Don't be caught up in the "if I build it, they will come" syndrome. Study the demographics carefully beforehand. Number 3, I've also found that a number of new business owners tell me they are unconcerned about what other businesses are doing. Confidence in your products and services is vitally important to the success of your business, but turning a blind eye to an oversaturated market or a competitor that is offering many similar products and services can place your business in jeopardy. Assessing the competition before you open your doors will help you to develop a unique selling position. Number 4, insufficient capital and or cash flow. Business owners must be conscious of how much money they have to work with, where every dollar is going, and how much revenue they're taking in. Even if you can navigate your way through a balance sheet, profit and loss statement, and break-even analysis, it still boils down to the money, and mainly whether or not you have enough of it. Understanding what it will cost to fulfill all of your business obligations, that means everything from starting inventory, salaries, and taxes, is critical to keeping your business afloat. Balancing that with a solid understanding of the amount of revenue you can afford to bring to the table is vital to meeting those financial obligations. If you don't understand the financing involved, you are putting yourself at a distinct disadvantage starting out. Your business plan is also instrumental in managing 2 of the most important factors in any service business: employees and clients. Employees are a vital part of your organization's success, so it's important to hire the right people to join your team right from the start. Training is key to helping them reach performance goals. And one of the most important employee considerations you will have to make is deciding on a method of compensation. This will be a major factor in the profitability and success of your business, and one that requires a lot of thoughtful consideration. Starting out with a compensation system that drains your business of any profit is not only difficult to recuperate from, it's one of the hardest things to change. The goal of any successful business is always to keep clients coming back. So excellent customer service is another very important reason for writing a business plan that should be at the top of the list. Developing business policies that promote excellence and having systems in place to handle every customer service issue before it arises will help you to build a loyal clientele. Developing information systems and a sales and marketing program that drives business cannot be overlooked. Creating policies and procedures and developing business analysis tools that you can rely on at the push of a button to analyze all of your business functions is imperative in today's business climate. Being able to analyze your business from every perspective, employee productivity, client spending, and daily, monthly, and weekly revenue,
and we believe
down to each product and service, will help you to manage every facet of
integration space
operations that much easier. And of course, we all want it to be easier. While it might seem a bit premature, business owners also have to be conscious of growing too fast. Be aware of how you are utilizing space and service providers, and be sure you are maximizing every inch before you consider expanding. If you're not ready for the added responsibility and you do not have the capital to sustain more than one business, what looks like a super idea to open a second facility could easily backfire. Okay, so now you know some of the major reasons why you should have a business plan. Now for the important question: where do I begin? All business planning starts with a vision. If you're listening to this webinar with the goal of starting your own business, I would encourage you to spend a good amount of time focusing your intention on that vision, giving complete thought to exactly what the ideal business for you looks like. Run every detail through your mind until you can actually see a working space in front of you. Whether you intend to open a spa, salon, or a private practice, the same basic principles are involved, and each one requires a plan. While I can empathize with the many small business owners that tell me that getting started is stressful, it really doesn't have to be overwhelming. Let's start with some simple ground rules. The first order of business is setting a date. Once you have an opening date, you can establish a time frame for drafting your plan. As a general rule, you want to establish a time frame that gives you enough time to accomplish everything you need to do, but not too much time that it causes you to procrastinate. A character trait that many of us can relate to, I'm sure. The next order of business is deciding on a plan. Will you purchase a template, use a textbook to guide you, purchase a workbook or software? There are many variations of the business plan, so be sure to look at a few before deciding which is right for you. It's always a good idea to review sample plans, but don't blindly copy someone else's plan. It's important to customize your plan according to your individual business needs. It's also important to determine where you'll need assistance. Here is where I find many get into trouble. The first thing you need to do is cut yourself some slack. You are not required to know everything. Accept the fact that you're probably going to need professional help. For example, an accountant or business attorney, human resource, marketing, and other professionals to help you. Some might decide to hire a consultant to manage the entire task of writing their business plan. Still, it's a good idea to be prepared to work with that person to develop a plan that truly reflects your vision, goals, and objectives. Where will you find such help? Trade associations and industry directories are a good place to begin. Technology has made it easier than ever before to work with people around the globe. But if you're someone who really needs to work face-to-face with someone sitting down at the same table, you might want to begin by networking with other small business owners and organizations in your own community. There are generally several options to choose from. Your local chamber of commerce is often a good place to start. While your search is likely to result in several qualified individuals, it's important to look for people who understand the culture and nature of your business, and most importantly, have experience working with health, beauty, and wellness professionals. So talk to several before making a decision. Once you've decided on the type of plan and the core group of professionals to assist you, you're ready to develop a plan of action. While certain items are bound to overlap, a step-by-step approach is often the best approach. Here is where the business plan outline will guide you. The business plan functions as a practical guide to managing operations and handling finances. It should answer who, what, where, when, and how you will carry out each facet of your plan. Business plans vary and sections may overlap or be condensed, but most include 6 general categories that you see here: the executive summary, a marketing plan, strategic design and development, an operations plan, a financial plan, and a conclusion that wraps it all up. The executive summary provides a complete overview of the entire business strategy. It should identify the name and location of your business, the business structure you will operate under, for example, whether your business will function as a sole proprietorship, partnership, corporation, or limited liability company, the nature of your business, your mission, a brief history of your professional background and business history, should identify key management personnel, provide a general overview of your products and services, explain your sales and marketing strategy, identify your major competitors, and describe how you will be different or better than those competitors. Identify the funds you will need to operate your business, and explain the methods you'll use to obtain financing. In short, it's a complete encapsulation of your plan. Business plans may be geared for internal use or funding purposes. So it is important to keep your readership in mind when writing this section. Banks generally want information that is clear, concise, and easy to read, so a few paragraphs may suffice. If you're seeking funding, you'll also want to be upfront about how you intend to repay any loans. This section of your plan should give the reader absolute confidence in your ability to carry out the entire plan. If you're writing for your plan for internal purposes, don't be afraid to extend your summary. It will help you to bring your vision to life. Those new to business plan writing may want to tackle the individual sections of their plan first and then go back and write this section of their plan later. The marketing plan. The marketing section of your business plan is vital to the success of your business. Unfortunately, marketing often takes a back seat when it comes to startups who tend to be more involved in architecture and design, hiring staff, and purchasing products and equipment for their facility. You will be very busy preparing to open your business, but don't make the mistake of waiting on this very important section of your business plan. Marketing drives business, but it doesn't happen without appropriate funding. Be sure you calculate all of the cost involved in marketing your business. Everything from creating a logo to advertising and promotions must be accounted for. Marketing is a necessity, not something to think about if you have some money left over. What should you include? Your marketing plan should provide a complete overview of current market conditions, so it's important to study all of the resources that are pertinent to your business. If you are a massage therapy practice that will not offer any other services, you'll want to highlight statistics that focus on this segment of the industry. Trade associations and government agencies like the Bureau of Labor Statistics are good resources for this information and should be clearly identified in this section of your plan. This section of your plan should also identify your target market in terms of who, what, where, when, and how. That is, who you will market to, what you will market to them, where you will market, when you will market, and how. Most spas target a certain market segment to bring in the bulk of their revenue, but you should also identify any secondary markets that are critical to your plan. For example, if your primary target market is focused on women ages 40 to 50, you might decide to focus on teens as your secondary market. This section of your plan should also include a description of each of the methods you will use to promote your business, such as advertising, public relations, publicity, sales promotion, direct marketing, techniques. A competitive analysis is critical to this section of your plan and should address in detail your unique selling position. That is, how your business will be better than or different from the competition. In working this section of your plan, keep in mind that good marketing strategies are based on the theory that the needs of both buyers and sellers are satisfied. The question to ask is not only how this will drive business, but also how will each of the methods employed answer the needs of your target market. Strategic design and development is the nuts and bolts of your plan. Here is where you will begin to specify the products and services you intend to offer in terms of the marketing mix, or what are commonly referred to as the 4 Ps: product, price, promotion, and place. In the service industry, product refers to your complete business concept. That is, all of the services you will offer, the products and equipment you will use to perform those services, and the retail products you sell. Figuring out prices or what to charge for your products and services is a major component of the marketing mix. This should be carefully calculated to account for all of the costs associated with selling your products and services. This is both the direct and indirect operating cost. You will also want to take into consideration the demand for your services, what the competition is charging, and economic conditions. The methods that you will use for promotion are critical to getting your message across to the consumer. Most businesses use a combination of promotional strategies, which are outlined in the marketing section of your plan. Here, you want to address how you will promote each product and service. Place refers to the channel of distribution that is used to supply the customer with your services and products. Because you're working in a service business, it can be hard to separate place from the service provider. So it's important to analyze how accessible, affordable, and convenient your business is to your target market. Stating your goals and objectives is vital to developing this section of your business plan. If you can state it, you can achieve it. Do you want to be named the best day spa in your area, generate millions of dollars in revenue? Setting the intention you have to grow your business is the first step in realizing that or any goal you have. This section should also give a detailed description of your facility in terms of its location, size, the number of treatment rooms, and all of the amenities that you will incorporate. List all of the equipment and supplies you will use to operate your business, and identify the key suppliers and vendors you will do business with here. Describe the products and services you will offer and the service providers you will employ to perform them. And be sure to calculate the cost of materials needed to perform the treatments that you will offer. The viability of any business is based on its strategic value or how well it satisfies the needs and wants of a particular target market. So a critical component of this section of your business plan is an explanation of the customer value your services will provide. Breaking down each service and product to its benefits and features or strategic value might seem like a no-brainer, but it is actually an extremely important task that will help you to identify who actually needs or wants your services. It is also extremely valuable in developing personal selling techniques that will help you to better train your staff. Here is where you will also identify any key alliances and methods for cross-merchandising with other businesses that you will employ. You'll also want to incite the methods you intend to use to maintain quality control. Something that you definitely don't want to overlook is the break-even analysis. This mathematical calculation defines the point at which a business generates zero profit or breaks even. That's the point at which all expenses are covered and a business can begin to make a profit. Generating a break-even analysis typically begins with projected sales revenues, and there are several methods that can be used to calculate the break-even point. All will require knowledge of your fixed and variable cost. Because the spa business sells multiple services and products, calculating the break-even point can be a complex task and generally requires expert advice and the assistance of an accountant or financial planning expert. Some larger spas may have a CFO who is responsible for performing this task. This section of your plan should also include a SWOT analysis. SWOT is an acronym that refers to a business's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This takes into account both internal and external factors. So, for example, if you're a service provider starting out with an established clientele, that would be a considerable strength. On the other hand, you may only have 2 treatment rooms, which would limit the number of services you can provide at any given time. External measures take into account things like the economy, consumer trends, and government regulations, which you may have limited control over. A SWOT analysis is an excellent tool for those developing a business plan for internal use, and it's also extremely useful in measuring your progress and the success of your strategies from year to year. At the end of this section, it's also a good idea to include your plans for managing growth and expansion. While having so many clients that you have to turn some away might be a good problem to have, you definitely want to be prepared for that scenario. Here's where you would address any physical space that might be available for expansion and your plans for utilizing that space, adding products, and any other services. The operations section of your plan outlines the specific policies and procedures and systems that you will use to operate your business on a daily basis. This section encompasses all of the concrete administrative and organizational tools and procedures that you will use. For example, your method of accounting and technology systems that you intend to use to schedule employees and operate your business. A human resource plan is critical to this section. It should identify key personnel, their qualifications, and provide job descriptions that clearly define each employee's duties and responsibilities. It should also define the organizational hierarchy of your business. For example, who is responsible for what and who rolls up to whom. The used for salary and compensation, training and development are specified in this section as well. This information will become extremely useful in developing several other important business tools. For example, an employee manual, operational guide, and step-by-step procedures for treatments. These are the tools that will help your business to run smoothly and efficiently. Your operations plan should also identify how you will use other key professional resources, such as a business attorney, accountant, insurance agent, marketing and public relations professional, and other business consultants that you might hire to maintain and protect your business. Be sure to make note of how they will add value to your business.
Hi, Lillian.
When I hear from business owners that tell me that they are barely breaking even or have yet to see a profit after being in business for several years, I'm concerned that they did not have a handle on the real cost of running their business. A solid financial plan is critical to the success of any business. This section of the plan should cover all expenses and include a detailed description of your initial startup cost, along with an estimate of expenditures for the first 3 years of operation. It should also demonstrate the expected return on your investment. A projected by-month income statement and quarterly sales projections for the first 2 to 3 years of operation are standard. Your financial plan should clearly identify your resources for capital, how this money will be used, and your plan for repaying any loans. It should also identify any collateral that will be used as a basis for loans. This is definitely an area that requires expert financial advice. If you don't fall into the category of expert, and most don't, it's generally in your best interest to hire a qualified professional to help you with these financial management tools. I'm still hearing a few people in the background. If you've just joined us, if you could press *6 to mute your phone, that would be really helpful. Thank you. Good financial planning begins with a solid understanding of all of the costs associated with opening a business. These typically include an estimate of all of the items you see here. You'll be able to review these slides later, so I won't spend time reading them line by line. While you may need help generating the cost of these items, it is in every small business owner's best interest to become savvy about these operating expenses. Be conscious of what things cost. I suggest that you gather as much of this information as possible and then review all of these expenses in detail with your accountant so you have a clear handle on your expenses. Wondering where you'll get the money to market your business after spending too much on other items has handicapped more than one business starting out. After you've tallied up all of your expenses, the big question on every small business owner's mind is, where will I get the money? While there may seem like endless resources of capital, in reality there are only a few options when it comes to financing. You can use your own money or savings, take out loans, or seek investors to furnish capital for your business. Banks and other investors generally want to know their person is willing to contribute his or her own funds in their business. So taking stock of your personal finances is the first step in meeting your financial obligations. Still, it's wise to tread cautiously. Here is another area where I've seen a number of small businesses get into trouble, miscalculating the cost of startup and projected revenues. Always consult expert advice and be cautious in terms of what you can afford to contribute personally. Figure out your personal financial obligations before you go into business for yourself, and be sure you have a backup plan for meeting your personal financial obligations during the initial stages of business, especially if projected revenues do not meet your expectations. Other financing options include banks, credit unions, and commercial loan companies. These will have varying rates and obligations, so it's wise to compare interest rates and loan requirements between banks and commercial loan companies. If you're a first-time business buyer or unfamiliar with the ins and outs of bank financing, it's also a good idea to seek professional advice before meeting with a bank or loan officer to determine the type of loan that would be best for your personal circumstances. Investors are people or businesses that will give money in return for a share of your business. Besides owning a share of your business, investors will generally have some control over the way you operate your business as well. Family, friends, and relatives may also be viable options for financing and may have less of an interest in business management. But this doesn't mean you have carte blanche with their money. Be sure that you have an official agreement for repaying any personal loans in writing. The conclusion to your business plan serves as a summary of your goals and objectives. It should highlight the key strengths of your plan for success and clarify any questions the reader might have. While this might seem like just another extra step, it can be very helpful to the small business owner in pulling it all together, and in some cases may raise questions or point out information that is missing from your plan. This will help you to refine that plan. Financial statements. While you are most likely to hire an accountant to help you with financial matters, there are several important financial documents that spa owners should be familiar with, and these are generally attached at the end of your business plan. For new businesses, these will include a pro forma or projected balance sheet, income statement, and cash flow statement. The balance sheet provides an overview of your financial status at a certain point in time. The key components of the balance sheet are assets, liabilities, and capital. Assets refer to anything your business owns. Liabilities are any debts a business owes to creditors. And capital, it refers to the monetary investment that the owner or others have made in your business. I'm sorry, I'm getting some music. Are we still on? Okay. Sounds like we are.
Yep.
Hi.
We're good.
Okay. I heard some music there. I'm going to move on to the income statement. The income or profit or loss statement is used to calculate revenues or sales and expenses for a specific time period. And the cash flow statement is used to determine how much money is flowing in and out of the business on a regular basis. It's also sometimes referred to as a budget.
Well, I was going to post up. Jennifer faxed it. I just took it down. Anytime you need something like that, okay, thank you.
Okay, if you've just joined us, if you could press *6 to mute your phone, that would be really great. Thank you. I think there are some examples here that I've just moved past of the balance sheet and the profit and loss statement and the cash flow statement. You'll be able to go back over these slides, and I'm not going to get into detail on how those work. And I think this just about wraps it up. So I want to thank you all for participating, and I want to I hope this session has been helpful in giving you an overview of some of the more important items that go into developing a business plan. And in closing, I would just like to reinforce how important it is to know your own strengths and weaknesses. One of the biggest mistakes that I see small business owners make is thinking they have to do it all on their own. While it's important to have a general understanding of all of the components of the business plan, most people require support. Getting help from qualified legal, accounting, and other business professionals who are more knowledgeable about financial planning, marketing, human resources, and other business systems will help you to develop a business plan that you can feel confident about. And starting out, that can be the most valuable resource you own. Use all of those tools that you see listed here and learn as much as you can before opening your own business. Thank you all again for participating. I don't know if there are any questions. I don't see any raised hands.
All right. Well, thank you, Janet, and thanks to everyone for joining us. If you do have any questions, just make sure that you hit #6 on your phone, and that will actually unmute your phone so that you can ask the questions.
How do you view these slides?
We're going to have the presentation posted on our website, which is mulady.com, for anyone who would like to view the presentation at a later time.
Okay.
I think I do see a question here. Sally,
yeah, that was my question. I just wanted to know how to view these slides after this webinar is over.
Okay, and I also see another question from Danielle that asks what would be a good percentage to offer an investor in terms of, I think that would, Danielle, depend on your particular financial circumstances, what you're starting out with, the kind of business. That would definitely be a question that you would want to review with your accountant and your financial planner. And, of course, if anyone has any other questions, my email is on the first slide, and I would be happy. Please feel free to make contact with me directly. I'd be happy to answer any other questions offline. So, again, thank you. Thank you to all for taking this hour to join us.
Thank you.